Laws, yes. M-O-O-N, that spells glasses push. Hey everybody, welcome to the Glasses Push. My name is Chuck, and we're talking about The Stand. Why should you care? Well, The Stand is long considered to be one of Stephen King's masterpieces, perhaps his magnum opus. It was an epic book when it was originally released, and then it got re-released with even more content added back into it, where it is just truly a behemoth of a story. And right now, there's a very high-profile project of Stephen King's being developed. It's the Dark Tower series is finally coming to film. And I have it on good authority that there are quite a few connections between The Stand and the Dark Tower. Who should read it? I know that Stephen King is very synonymous with the horror genre, but The Stand isn't really about horror. At its core, it's a character drama. Anyone that appreciates really deep, detailed character studies, you're going to have a field day with this book. Anybody that appreciates epic storytelling with a very ambitious scope and message would get a kick out of this. And this may be my bias, but as long as you can stick through character development, as long as you can stick with a very long book, anyone that meets said criteria should check this out. What did I think? Stephen King hit it out of the park. The Stand is one of those works that is absolutely accurately regarded as the masterpiece that it is. What makes it so good? Well, the core of its story, if you were to hear it, does not sound that different from a lot of things that are really popular right now. There's a devastating virus that takes out the vast majority of the world's population, and the tattered remnants have to rebuild. What caused the outbreak? What was the reason for it? Why are certain people immune but others aren't? For the most part, those are the easy questions, and they're either handed to you or not addressed at all. And what makes this a very singular piece of literature is all of the mystical elements surrounded in the bleak realism of the effects of the plague, the downfall of society, and the struggles that the remaining population have to deal with. Stephen King is great at being scientific and surgically precise in picking just the right words that will make you cringe, will make you smile, but then he'll smack you with poetry, even going so far as to quote T.S. Eliot when describing a landscape. And then balancing those two very distinct writing styles isn't enough, because Stephen King will also take slang, the mannerisms and the vernacular of each unique character, and weave that into his very great, ever-shifting, third-person, limited, omniscient style. The stars of The Stand and what will keep you engaged in this story from beginning to end are the characters. Even though if you look at the back of the book, you hear any synopsis, you'll hear about a super flu, you're going to hear about the downfall of society, but what you don't hear is how long Stephen King will make you wait before it gets there. In a lesser writer, that might become frustrating, like, wow, just get to the point. But with Stephen King, all of these characters have such unique traits, and you really care about their backstories. And then, right at the point where you're wondering, okay, where is this going? You see all of these characters tested, and you watch in horror as their lives fall apart. as your heart continually sinks for all the hardships that these characters go through, that you realize all of this character development was building up for you to be destroyed by how deeply sad this gets. And The Stand is such an amazing tapestry of all these characters scattered across the United States, and just everybody on their own personal journey to survive in the wake of such a global disaster. It's an epic. There's a lot of walking, there's a lot of talking. I could just hear some people thinking, like, oh, great. As if Lord of the Rings didn't have enough walking for us. There's a lot of travel, there's a lot of walking. Just as with Lord of the Rings, in The Stand, you find that the journey these characters take is far more important than the end destination. The book is very slow-paced, and it's very deliberate. Just when you think it's settled into a routine, Stephen King will whip up an action sequence or something that seems so out of left field, you're left in such a state of shock. The book allows you to feel comfortable, and then it pulls the rug out from under you, and then it lets you calm down again. There's a beautiful ebb and flow to this book. But when big things happen, they are important, which is why the book's pacing pays off so well. In the very final moments of the book, it's a very slow and quiet ending. The last 2 chapters of The Stand are incredibly poignant, beautiful, and poetic. You've gone on an emotional journey that is nearly equal to the epic physical and emotional journey that the characters went on. Just wow. 1 word, masterpiece. 2 words, masterpiece, wow. So, how would I rate it? Well, if it wasn't clear already, when I throw out the word masterpiece, I literally mean it. This is 100 out of 100. If you have the patience for a long, deliberate, sometimes even plodding book, just understand that your patience will be paid off tenfold. It is a book that not only lives up to the hype, but exceeds it. You just never expect to fall in love with so many different characters and be so affected. Just visceral, emotional, and humanizing. It's incredible. So when and where should you experience The Stand? Anywhere. Just start it now. Just finish whatever you're reading and pick up The Stand if you haven't read it. I'm a little late to the game on this one, but I'm hoping that if there are others like me out there that have not experienced this, it is worth it, and you gotta get on it. So, that was my opinion on The Stand, but I want to know, what did you think about it if you've read it? Just how shocked were you by everything that happened in it? And if you haven't read it, have I done a good enough job convincing you? If not, where's your trepidation? I would just love to talk about this. This was an amazing book, and thank you so much for watching this review. So I have some other videos that you can check out below. Be sure to like this, be sure to share it, and heck, even can you print out like a manuscript of this and then walk it across the country and give it to a long-lost friend.